So welcome. We're looking at phrasal verbs in a much more in-depth way today. And as you can see, here are some of the phrasal verbs, some of which we learnt last week, and some of which are new, some of which we thought we knew last week, but actually have more meanings. Now, I'm going to hand you out this little piece of theory in a minute. This theory talks about the 4 different types of phrasal verbs, which we've gone through, but I haven't told you this is type 1, this is type 2, etc., etc. Let me just go through this very briefly. A type 1 phrasal verb is a phrasal verb that doesn't have an object. And there's one fantastic example here. Look out! It's just an expression. Yeah? Be careful. It's an idiomatic phrasal verb, which means it doesn't mean look out of the window. It means something completely different to what has been stated. That's the difference between a literal phrasal verb and an idiomatic phrasal verb. Look out in a literal way means I look out of the window using my eyes. That's very literal. Here, we're using it in an idiomatic way where it means something completely different. Now, a type 2 phrasal verb is a phrasal verb that you can separate. So we were looking at separable and inseparable phrasal verbs. So here's a good example. Take off, for example. Here it's used in an idiomatic way. The plane takes off. It means it leaves the ground. But we can also use this in a literal way when I take off my coat. And because it's a type 2 phrasal verb, it means you can open it up in this case and said, I take my coat off. So you can put the object in the middle of a phrasal verb with some phrasal verbs. However, there are some phrasal verbs that you can't do that with. They're called type 3 phrasal verbs. And there's one here. Do you remember where it is? Oh yes, to come across. So to come across means to find something or somebody by chance. So I was walking down the street and I came across Oscar. I was really surprised. I wasn't expecting to see him. Now, I can't say I come Oscar across. It just doesn't make any sense. This phrasal verb cannot be separated. It's inseparable. It has to stay in the same form, and they call that a type 3 phrasal verb. The final type of phrasal verb is called a type 4 phrasal verb. This is a phrasal verb with more than one particle. So, in a way, it's not important for you to know which type you're dealing with, but it's just nice to know that there are these 4 different types and where there are 4 different things that you can do. So we learnt some new phrasal verbs today. Look out, be careful. Go out in an idiomatic way when, oh no, the lights have gone out, we've lost power. To look up or to look something up means to search and check for information. We look things up in dictionaries, on the internet, in our exercise books. And remember, that's very different to look for, which is to search. They both look like they mean the same thing, but to look for something means to search if you've lost it. Okay? Here are some other new ones. To put up with something means to tolerate it. So, I can put up with some things, and there are some things in this world I cannot put up with. And I've put lots of synonyms here. Words that mean exactly the same thing. To put up with something means to bear it, to tolerate it, to cope with it, to stand it. Basically it means it's okay. It's not easy, but it's okay. And the other one we learned, which was new, which was this one. To run out of something means to finish. So if I run out of paper in the photocopier, the paper has all gone and I need to put new paper in. If I run out of petrol in my car, it means my car stopped. I need to go to the petrol station and fill it up. Okay? Yeah, I think that's about it. All the other phrasal verbs here are ones you already know. So, oh, there was this nice one here. We learnt this one last week, to get on well with, to have a good relationship with. But just to get on with could also mean to have some sort of a relationship with, but it can also mean to do something. Oh, could you get on with your work, please? You know? So it's very idiomatic. Okay? I think that's about it. Thank you.